Ein neues Video hochgeladen. Das gucken wir uns mal an.
Black Desert is more than just a game. It's a test of patience, of will, of persistence. I've walked many paths, conquered challenges, fallen into despair, and climbed my way back up. But somehow, there's still so much more to experience, so much further to go.
Digga, einfach seine Medic. 20 Minuten. Sowas ist immer geil. Ich muss mir nachher noch mal Blues React darauf angucken.
Looking back, the main story questline feels like a blur. Not because it was forgettable, but because I never really stopped to take it in.
Und BDO hat einfach drauf kommentiert, nächstes Video.
Like many new players, I started with good intentions. I wanted to understand this world, learn its history and lore, and find my place in it all. But somewhere along the way, I gave up trying.
No.
The plot blurred together, and the dialogue lost its meaning. And so, like countless others before me, I spammed R, kept moving, and kept pushing forward. It did not feel like a journey. It was more like a checklist, a true test to the limits of my endurance, the first of many trials in Black Desert. But some moments, I just couldn't skip. The boss fights. They demanded my attention. I had no choice but to engage, to react, and to learn. For the first time, I wasn't rushing ahead. I was fighting for my survival.
Hat er dazu geschrieben, wann er gestartet hat? Also mit diesem, oder meint er jetzt so 2025 abhängig?
And then there were the places I discovered. Cities I'd never heard of. Ruins whose stories I never fully understood. Landscapes that stretched beyond what I thought was possible. I didn't know their histories, but I felt their weight. And just like that, it was over. The story had ended, but the real journey, that was just beginning.
Das ist halt true.
Some trials test your skill, others test your patience. Then there's Magnus. The puzzles were fine, challenging even.
Digga, aber wie geil ist das Video gemacht? Einmal ganz kurz. Es ist einfach perfekt für Leute, die keine Ahnung haben vom BDO und einfach so einen groben Einblick wollen. Wisst ihr, wie ich meine? Ist ja scheißegal, Bro, welche Bass man wo nutzt oder so Einzelheiten oder Details im Game, sondern einfach nur, wie das Game aussieht, was man so macht, was passiert.
A never-ending march. I thought I was nearing the end, but no. Another detour, another task. Slowly, exhaustion set in. And when it was finally over, I should have felt relief. The rewards were game-changing, sure. But in that moment, I was too tired to care. That's when doubt crept in. Could I really commit to this game long-term? The idea of logging in for years, grinding endlessly, it didn't really appeal to me. I moved on and streamed other games. A handful of variety games came in. The idea of logging in for years, grinding endlessly, it didn't really appeal to me. I moved on and streamed other games. A handful of variety games came and went, and through all of it, Black Desert lingered in the back of my mind. Still, not everyone had given up on me.
Leute, wer findet Magnus Quest geil? Und wer findet es kacke?
Ion Giannis, a Black Desert legend, kept urging me to come back.
Ion
You'll
Giannis,
see
geil.
what I mean, he said. But I wasn't ready to listen. Not yet.
Oh shit, und jetzt geht's erst los, okay. Ist nice, man.
Coming back to Black Desert after a year felt overwhelming. The game had changed, my journey had shifted, but then a friend showed me the way. Rirar rated me out of nowhere. You're in my category now, she said. It felt like I was welcomed immediately into the community, and then she pointed me toward my next challenge, Infinite Potions.
die mittlerweile eigentlich
The
fast nur
grind
noch
for
mit Silber
infinite potions was a
der
rite
Grind
of
war sein
passage,
können.
but I was ready. This was the first true test of endurance,
Ollies.
and it felt like following
Alles
in my
voraus.
friend's footsteps. I and Giannis had conquered this grind, and now it was my turn. Hours passed. I was grinding mobs, sometimes 10 to 12 hours a day. Tens of thousands of mobs fell, but it wasn't a chore. The challenge, the encouragement of the community, the endless possibilities of what I could become. This was the heart of the grind.
Also,
I
ich habe noch nie länger als 10 Stunden am Stück Policy gegrindet. Maximal vielleicht 6, 7.
cycled through 5 different classes, wondering each time, was this the one? The one I would stick with, the one I would master? The witch. I hated her at first, until level 58, when something changed. Then I knew I'd found my main. The potion grind wasn't just a test of patience. It became the journey that led me to my true class, the first step in everything that followed ahead.
Ja, true.
Grinding, the endless grind. Every time I thought I was almost there, something new stood in my way. Potions, elixirs, food. I had to manage them constantly, but there was a solution. The community dropped a bomb. If you want a fairy to automate all that, you're looking at hundreds of dollars, they said. I hesitated, but something about that challenge stirred me. What if I could do it my way? What if I could unlock this power without taking shortcuts? I knew the odds were against me. I knew the challenges ahead, but that didn't stop me. I was going to earn this. It wasn't long before I realized that with enough persistence, I could get my hands on one of the rarest fairies in the game. $5? Small price for something so powerful. It was a moment of triumph for me and for my journey. With effort and a little bit of luck, I had achieved something extraordinary. When it came to accessories, Black Desert Online threw me into a decision that felt almost impossible to make. The community seemed divided. One group praised Karazad accessories, while others said Jatina was...
Oder jetzt zeigt, der erklärt die BDO-Story besser als die BDO-Story selbst. Obwohl er sie nicht erklärt, Bro, indem er einfach das Gameplay erklärt, Digga. Weil man halt wirklich einfach nur am Anfang durchspammt und dann loslegt mit dem Game. Das ist einfach so wunderschön.
Was the way to go for new accounts. Everyone had their opinions. Karazad was the future, they said. But what they didn't realize, the success of Karazad was not a guarantee. It relied on fail stacks, and that was not only risky, but a resource a new account like mine lacked. Jatina, on the other hand, was certain. It was
Wann hat er denn angefangen mit BDO?
more reliable path, and that's what I needed. I didn't take advice lightly. I trusted my mentors. They'd seen it all, and they knew Jatina was the right choice for me. Despite the community's noise, I stayed the course. The grind wasn't easy, but there was something comforting about it. With Jatina, there was certainty. I knew the path. I could rely on it. It gave me the space to explore other areas of the game at my own pace. There were times when I doubted myself. Was this the right decision? But now, looking back, I know it was the right choice. Sometimes failure is just a lesson in disguise. By now, I had grown tired of the same old grind. I got both of my potions, and the grind for quests were starting to feel a bit repetitive. I needed something different, a new challenge. I stumbled upon cups, which were upgrades for your accessories. Sure, they were cheap on the market, but crafting them myself felt like a test of patience and perseverance. But it was also a challenge of self-sustainability, gaining money instead of losing. The community wasn't exactly on board. Some said I was wasting my time. Others thought that there were better ways to progress, but I didn't let that stop me. I did have some mentors on my side, veterans who'd been through this grind before. They believed in me, reminding me that it wasn't just about the immediate rewards, it was about learning. It was about the bigger picture. As I stuck to it, I began to realize the true value wasn't in the cups themselves. It was in the knowledge I gained, how to upgrade accessories, how to navigate the intricate systems of the game. I was getting silver while I was getting better. Slowly but surely, I began to uncover the game's deeper layers. And despite the skepticism from others, I knew I was on the right track. Sometimes the road less traveled is the one that rewards you the most. The cups weren't the end game, but they brought me closer to becoming the player I wanted to be. Grinding for gear progression was fun, but I craved to explore more of the game. Building a ship. At first, it seemed like
Ganz kurz. So.
daunting, almost impossible task. A grind that would take me away from the combat I had become so familiar with. But the more I thought about it, the more I couldn't shake the idea that maybe it was worth it. Every log gathered by hand, every timber square crafted. The grind was real, and it wasn't easy. But this was something I had to do. The old way. No shortcuts, no rushing ahead. I was going to build this ship myself. I knew I could have taken the easy way out, bought the boat and moved on, but no. I chose the hard path. I was building my future in this world. And there it was. The ship. My ship.
Aber eigentlich geile Mechanics, was BDO bietet an Schiff.
My vessel of freedom. A new path to explore. A reminder that no matter how hard the journey, there's always something new to conquer. And while the seas were still calling to me, I know there's still unfinished business on solid ground. The grind and the upgrades, the challenges that await. But eventually I'll shift focus. I'll return to the world at sea, bartering, trading between islands, upgrading my vessels into war-fighting ships. But for now it remains a dream. But someday that dream will be my reality.
Das heißt, hat Cups fertig gemacht, dann hat er Dixel angefangen mit so Lifeskill-Zeugs und dann hat er erstmal gebadert, oder was?
In Black Desert, the path to becoming stronger is never straightforward. Most players focus on the rush to in-game, but I learned early on the pitfalls of living on the edge with potential crystal loss and countless instant deaths in PvP. Armor gave me the edge I needed. It meant survival, stability, and for me, that was worth more than the thrill of raw damage. The real challenge came with enhancing my armor. I needed Caphras stones to unlock my armor's full potential. But there was a dilemma. Should I grind for them and spend time, or buy them and save time? It was not an easy decision. Each route came with its own cost. In the end, I found a balance. Half grinding, half spending when the price was right. The time I spent grinding for Caphras stones was its own reward, and the silver I spent, well, it saved time. After using Caphras stones to enhance my armor, the next step was gathering embers and flames. Once again, I chose the path less traveled, grinding for flames instead of buying them outright. The grind for these flames was one of my favorite challenges so far.
Der hat die gegrindet alle?
People came into chat
Frage, wann das
perplexed by how is
Weil heutzutage, oder du kriegst die Schuhflamme, kriegst für 7B oder so.
These spots, knowing how difficult
Athos.
they can be for undergeared players. It was a point of pride when viewers saw me grinding in Jade Starlight Forest with ease. The area was notorious for punishing players who weren't properly geared.
Ja,
But there I was, fearing it without breaking a sweat. That confidence was hard-earned, and it was great to share that victory with the community. Surviving and thriving in these difficult spots was a testament to the preparation, the strategy, and the resilience I built along the way. When the community noticed my success, it was a reminder that hard work does, in fact, pay off in Black Desert Online. And then it happened. I finally upgraded my first piece of armor. The moment I saw it transform into Slumbering God armor, I knew the journey was worth it. But that was only the beginning. Now was the true test of luck. My goal was clear. Forge 3 pieces of Slumbering God armor and enhance.
Ja, das ist das Ding, Chaos. Aber die Frage ist halt, ob sich die Athos-Ding noch lohnt. Weißt du, wie ich meine? Weil du musst halt dafür Ease-Rate grinden. Oder du grindest dir halt 7, 8B bei Honglim, was halt heutzutage sehr schnell geht. Weißt du? Darum geht's mir. Aber ja.
From base to duo. Each piece would test my patience and my resolve. Finally, the first piece made it to duo. 6 attempts, but I made it. The second piece, another 6 attempts. And then my gloves, first try. Each success brought me closer, but I wasn't done yet. The next step was even more dangerous. The flame of resonance.
Ja, wie geil ist das gemacht?
To get it, I'd have to survive.
Geisteskrank. Mit eigenes, mit 301 AP brauchst du erstmal 301 AP, Bro. Oder 270. Aber ja, das kann Israel schon gut.
Perilous
so kann
area
man es auch machen einfach.
That many said was impossible for me to grind without buying the flame or Kabua artifacts. But I wasn't gonna buy my way out. I wasn't done proving myself. This wasn't just about the flame, it was about something deeper, earning it. I didn't come this far to take the easy way out. The road I had chosen was tough. Every step felt like a test, but every battle reminded me why I started. With all the traveling I had been doing in my search of better armor, I became acquainted with an important skill, horse training. For the longest time, I avoided it.
Bro,
the grind to get a tier 10 horse felt like
an T10, T9 for free.
an insurmountable challenge. One I wasn't ready to dive into. I didn't fully understand the value at the time, and honestly, I wasn't sure it was worth my effort. I was reluctant, but after the Festa, everything changed. The developers gave us a free T10 horse, a seeming gift from the heavens. The choice, a Pegasus or Ardenaut, a Doom horse, or a Unicorn or Dine. I chose the Ardenaut. The idea of soaring through the skies, gliding from mountaintop to mountaintop, free from the terrain that once slowed me down. It was exhilarating. The freedom to glide through the world, leaving the ground behind. For a moment, I felt like I was flying. My very own wings cutting through the air. But as much as I loved the Ardenaut, I soon realized I needed a Dine. The harsh desert terrain, the expansive sands. It became clear that the Ardenaut was not enough. I needed a mount that could handle both water and the desert. The Dine would have been perfect, but for now, I had to make do. I dove into the world of horse training, breeding, and upgrading. The more I learned, the more I saw how much potential.
Prinzipiell, du brauchst kein Crescent mehr, du brauchst keinen Hystria mehr oder sowas. Deswegen, ich würde es wahrscheinlich T10, also wenn ich 9 Ding hätte, T10 Pegasus und T9 Unicorn.
There was in the system. And when I do finally manage to awaken my first T10 horse, it will be a huge accomplishment. My Ardenaut may not have been the Dine, but it had carried me far, and I know that someday I will be back on track to master the seas and the sands. Through all of this, some had come to know me as the person who grinded.
Aber mit T9 und Unicorn reicht ja aus, was ich meine. T10 Pegasus, also macht schon einen Unterschied zwischen T9 und T10 Ardenaut.
Exclusively on the PvP servers, where the constant risk of PvP encounters lingered around every corner. But there was one challenge I hadn't faced yet: Node Wars. The place where guilds clashed in massive battles for control of territory. A battlefield where strategy and teamwork determined the victor. I needed to experience it. And the day came. My first Node War.
Ja, ohne Witz. Vor allem im Node War, Digga. Krank.
100 players coordinated, ready for battle. I was in the thick of it now. This was real. The scale, the tension, the intricacies of battle.
Also das sind die krankesten Steps, Bro, die ich je gehört habe. Cups, er fängt an zu bartern, ist okay, Bro, so neue Reise, neues Glück. Dann, ne, Labreska, er macht seinen ganzen vollen Gott. Dann Israel, dickstes, richtig geiles Cinematic. Plötzlich, Bro, Pferde-RP. Was für Pferde-RP, Bruder, du kriegst T10 und T9 gratis. Und danach einfach Node War. Und wo ist er dann, in welcher Gilde ist er dann? Kong oder wie?
This was about survival and victory, about winning for your team. And I
das ist wirklich,
was
also seine Reise ist krass, ist ein Fiebertraum, aber ist krass.
First Node War was like being thrown into the deep end.
Leute, wir machen auch so ein Video. Digga, also das ist aber nee, nicht sowas, aber Junge, so BDO nach 1000 Stunden, so ein Video will ich noch machen und das ist bald soweit. Oder BDO nach einem Jahr, das könnte ich jetzt schon machen. Das wäre auch crazy.
I had no idea what was going on at all. The screen was flooded with players. The chaos was overwhelming, but I had to push through. At first, I didn't really understand what my role in all this was, but then something clicked. I wasn't there to get kills. I was there to support my team. I had to heal, buff, and crowd control, and as I did, I started to realize how important my role actually was. The defensive team held the fort, the scouts tracked enemy movements, and the main fighting force, that was where the action happened. I supported the ball. Every retreat became a chance to heal. Every rally gave me the opportunity to bring my team back into the fight. 7 wars later, I feel like I understand the flow a little better. The chaos is no longer as overwhelming. I know where I belong, and for me, it's in the back line, supporting my guild through thick and thin. Node Wars are just one of the many
so eine Qualität her, ne?
battles I'll face in Black Desert. But now I know. It's not just about fighting harder, it's about fighting smarter. And that's the journey I'm on. However, there was one factor of Node Wars which revealed
Aber was macht sein
shortcomings
Gear? Also ich gehe mal davon aus, dass er dann da so, weiß ich nicht, T2 Node War macht mit 710, 27 Gear-Score oder ich...
hadn't yet been aware of.
Weil da der ja...
My HP was dangerously low even for Tier 1 Node Wars. I had to do something about it and lamented the solution. Adventure logs. I avoided them for so long, just like everyone else. The community warned me, saying they were painful, boring, and something to avoid. I agreed. I put them off, letting them gather dust in my library. But over time, I realized I couldn't ignore them forever. The truth is, adventure logs are essential. What I did not expect was the sense of exploration. Adventure logs forced me to go beyond my usual routine. I began discovering new areas I'd never even thought to visit. There's so much beauty in this game that I'd been missing out on. I had tricked myself into liking the grind. What once felt like a chore became a scavenger hunt. Each item to find felt like uncovering a hidden treasure, and the more I completed, the more I realized how rewarding this process actually was. Adventure logs weren't what I expected, but they become...
Digga, manchmal sind die gerade, ich weiß nicht, manchmal hat er richtig ein bisschen so reingejoked, aber manchmal sind die Aufnahmen halt auch höllisch gut.
...a crucial part of my journey. They've changed the way I see this game. It feels like I've only scratched the surface of what there is to discover. I'm starting to appreciate the slower, more deliberate pace, because in Black Desert, there's always something new to uncover.
Digga, Chaos, tote Aussage.
Back on everything I've experienced, it's hard to believe how far I've come. From those early days of rushing through the story questline, to the grind for infinite potions, to exploring new mechanics like life skilling and horse training. Each step has been a lesson.
Also er hat halt zwischendurch oft viel so Life-Skill-Zeugs gemacht, was ja aber okay ist, Bro. Das kann man sich ausprobieren. Vielleicht, Imagine, er hat sich full auf Life-Skill am Ende, wisst ihr, ich meine? Und Journals hat er auch übel spät gemacht, so wie ich es jetzt verstanden habe, oder?
And a chance to learn more about the game, and more importantly, about myself. I've made mistakes and found new paths forward. From node wars to sieges, gear progression, and even the time spent gathering materials for my ship. The journey has been filled with challenges, but it's the people, the community, that made it all worth it. There's still so much more to explore, so much more to achieve. The challenges will keep coming, but with every battle, every lesson, and every triumph, I'll continue to grow. The world of Black Desert is vast, and there's always something new on the horizon. Who knows what follows? Better weapons? More powerful accessories? Becoming a war hero, a demon lord, a pirate king? What I do know is this. No matter where the journey takes me, it's been worth every step. I've learned, I've grown, and I'm ready for whatever comes next, and I hope you'll join me on every step of the way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Geistkrankes Video. Digga, wie viele! Geistkrank.
And there it was, the ship. My ship.
Aber Bro, er wollt's. Digga, kann er ja machen, I guess.
It's garbage. What a trash-looking hobo boat, man.
Yeah, guys,
holy crap. Homeless people have better boats than that.
Der arme Bro, cuttet übel krassen Scheiß. Er sagt einfach, Bruder, das kannst du in die Tonne kloppen. Geistkrank, der Typ. Er ist so ein Macher. Okay. Digga, das Ding ist, ich glaube, Blue dachte halt, er geht jetzt auf die dicksten Einzelheiten ein und was auch immer. Aber ich sag's so, wie es ist. Bevor du BDO spielst, guck dir lieber so ein Video an. Das gibt dir einen guten Einblick. Und Bro, es geht doch auch gar nicht drum, wie man was macht im Game oder was das die beste Silbermethode ist, sondern einfach, wie es so grob abläuft. gut, klar, jetzt mit Pferdeding und sowas hat er vielleicht ein paar Wege genannt, die man jetzt nicht unbedingt machen muss oder die man skippen kann. Aber trotzdem, es ist ein schönes Video, glaube ich, um einen ziemlich guten Einblick zu kriegen, da er ja auch mehrere Episoden macht. Von daher, ja, würde ich wahrscheinlich das jedem empfehlen, das auch anzuschauen, das natürlich noch dazu zu sagen. Aber, ja, Digga, geisteskrankes Video.